Recording gameplay can be an absolute pain with broken drivers and confusing setup processes. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I could just record gameplay as easily as I could play the game? Well, the Elgato has got you covered. Whilst the Elgato Game Capture HD isn't the only HD PVR out on the market, in my opinion, it's the best. So what makes the Elgato so amazingly great? Before I begin the review, I'd like to explain the setup process and just show you how easy it is. So the first step, of course, is unbox the Elgato. Included, you get the Elgato itself, a quick start guide, a USB cable, an HDMI cable, which is really good that they included this. Surprising, but a lot of manufacturers don't like to include this stuff. And a PS3 cable because PS3 has a HDMI encryption, and a component adapter which also accepts composite connections. Step 2. Take off the plastic. Okay, this is getting a bit condescending. Anyway, step 3. For Xbox, plug in the HDMI cable from your Xbox into the HDMI in port, which is next to the AV in port on the Elgato. For the PS3, plug in the supplied PS3 cable with the flat longer end in the PS3 and the circular end into the AV in port. Step 4. Plug the included HDMI cable into your TV and into the HDMI out, which is next to USB, on the Elgato. Step 5. Connect your Elgato into your PC or Mac using the USB cable and make sure it has at least a dual-core CPU with 4GB of RAM. Step 6. Download the Elgato Game Capture HD software, the link is below, which is compatible with Windows 7 and OS X line and later. For Xbox, this is all you need to do, but for the PS3, one more step is required. Step 7 for the PS3. Hold the power button down for 5 seconds until you hear a second beep. Go to display settings and select video output settings. Then select component/D terminal and then select all the resolutions. Press OK and it should now work fine. And one more thing. You can also plug the USB cable included into a wall wart if you don't actually want to leave your computer plugged in. Let's begin the review. I always like to start my reviews with the design, so for the sake of tradition, the design. The Elgato Game Capture HD looks sleek with its smooth edges and simplistic lines. The glossy finish isn't to my liking, but that's a personal preference. Although it can't be denied that this device gets a few fair fingerprint marks. The Elgato is also tiny, which makes it easy to carry if you wish, and you always have somewhere to put it. I like the fact that they've cut down on the ports to keep it sleek and small, but they haven't reduced its capability. Even though there are no component or composite ports, they actually include an adapter in the box, Apple, that allows you to record Wii and other older consoles. And yes, this Elgato Game Capture should be compatible with next generation. There is one major problem with the design, however, and that's the build quality. It's not awful, it's terrible. Okay, that's a slight hyperbole there. The problem is that it squeaks and you can hear that it's not really made very well. And I know that you're probably never gonna move your Elgato away from the TV, but it's not very reassuring when a device feels poorly made. There is one other issue, and that's the fact that it's too light. Yes, too light. It's possible. The Elgato is so light that it actually doesn't sit on the surface properly, so that it kind of hovers in the air because the HDMI and other cables are actually pulling it up. Thankfully, that's most of the problems with the Elgato. The software is elegant, clean, and most importantly, easy to use. I think that you could teach your grandma how to set this up in 5 minutes and still be able to have a cup of coffee. Seriously, all you have to do is press the record button and you're set. You are able to change resolution from standard 720p or 1080p. From my experience, 720p worked best, because whenever I recorded in 1080p, the end result was skippy and there was a lot of tear in the video. I'm sure that if you have a better laptop than me, it should be fine. All I can say is try out what resolution works best for you. You also are able to change other settings like audio gain. If you want to change stuff like that, feel free, it's there for you to do. The Elgato also has a really cool feature that's called flashback recording, which allows you to record footage from the past. So if, for example, I'm playing GTA 5 and I get the most epic intro loading screen, I can go back to that moment and record from there. I did, however, find myself disabling this feature because it takes up quite a lot of space. Now, they are only temporary files, but when I was recording for long periods of time, I'd find that I'd had very little space. So it really is convenience versus disk space. The software also allows you to stream to YouTube, Twitch, Ustream, and any other custom live streaming website. If you've been on my channel recently, you would have noticed a flood of GTA 5 videos, and that was simply because they were so easy for me to set up. The live stream option is pretty basic though. You can't, for instance, add a face cam or transition to another video source. The Elgato supposedly lets you schedule live events on places like YouTube, but I never actually found that to work. But not to worry. If you wish to use more advanced live streaming software such as XSplit or Open Broadcaster, that option is also there. If you wish, you can record your voice live whilst playing using a microphone or compatible headsets. Just note that you want to get the audio levels correct before you start recording, because they're exported in one video file, which makes it very hard to separate them in editing. The software also includes a rather basic editing mode that allows you to cut, upload, and share to YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. It also allows you to export it to different file types and sizes, like for your iPad, iPhone, or Apple TV. I always use Premiere Pro to edit, but it's a nice touch if you just want it to be super simple. The sound and video quality is what you'd expect, clear, sharp, and fluid. I had no issue at all with the quality. See for yourself. With the next generation of consoles, I'd love to see 4K support, but I'd expect that to come into next Elgato Game Capture HD. Here's some gameplay I recorded in 720p, and I'll put some 1080p clips in the description.
City of dreams, where Hollywood will shape the thoughts and desires of the entire planet. A city of pioneers.
Roger, 14 Adam en route.
Here we go again. They don't request uniforms for an evidence search unless there's some kind of catch.
Ever the optimist.
From the beam of sunshine himself.
So should you buy the Elgato Game Capture HD? Well, if you want to start a YouTube gaming channel or just record for fun, this is probably the best choice. I honestly don't see the advantage of using capture cards like the Blackmagic over this, and I'd say if you want to record next generation footage, wait until the newer version of these HD PVRs come out. A slew of new accessories always come out with new consoles, so the new Game Capture shouldn't be too far away.